Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm Ahsan, and I'm making this video to cover of the remaining classes that I didn't explain in the last video. Classes such as main menu, map select, and player select. After which I will probably move on to the player update class and the player class, in which I will be explaining the player moves and the player attributes. So let me start off by showing you the main menu class. So this is basically the main menu class, in which, as you can see, we have decided in this uh, in this CPP file, as you can see, we have decided the flags within the main menu. For example, if we are on the exit menu, then we have total of 2 flags: exit or don't exit. Same goes for the sound level, same goes for the difficulty level, and the actual main menu itself. Then we have the constructor here, in which we are loading all the screens for the main menu, which basically interchanges them within each other based upon the clicks and the hovers. Then we have these logical attributes of the screen itself. For example, what flag is selected, the play button is selected or not, what level of exit is it, what sound intensity level is, and what difficulty level is. So these are the attributes which decided the logic of the main menu itself. Then we have the reset menu to basically initialize the conditions or the logic of the main menu. Once the game is exited, then we have the destructor freeing up the memory. Same, we have the hover function and the click function, as I showed you in the previous video. As you can see, these hover and click function basically interchanges the screen and the logic of the main menu. That's pretty much it for the main menu. Similarly, pretty much all the same things are done within the map select and the player select. For example, as you can see, we have the flags, we are loading the screens, the maps, then we have the logical attributes of the map selection screen, then the helper functions. Same, as you can see, we have here the hovering function and the click function. This is the destructor for the map selection screen, reset map, update map, and the constructor. These are basically the flags for the map being selected. For example, when you hover over the map, there's this rectangle box around that map, so that is marked by a flag based on the coordinates of the mouse. So these are basically the maps for that screen, and that's pretty much it for the map selection. Similarly, for player select, pretty much the same thing is being done for the players. We have different separate screen for the players, and we have the logical attributes and the helper functions, the implementation of which is pretty much similar to the previous two screens that I showed you. For example, these are the flags for the player selection and hovering. This is the constructor here: update player, reset player, destructor, hover function, and the click function. So um, this is pretty much it for the whole game itself, apart from the update player class, in which we are taking care of the players moves and the players logic, logic of the fight basically. So I will cover off the the player update class for now. So as we know that player itself is an abstract class, and thus there would be no concrete object made from it. So therefore we decided to make this class abstract. As you can see, um, these virtual function right here, all these moves function of the player itself are virtual, because we had to declare them in this abstract class, and then I had to redefine them in the concrete class of the players, each individual players itself. So let me cover the player update class, and then I will move on to one of the example of at least one player class, because we have total of 10 players and we won't be making separate videos for each one of them. So as you can see, within this class we have basically the sound attributes of the player itself. Then we have the total frames of specific moves and other relevant information to their frames. Then we have these rectangles for each of the move. These are basically the pointers which you are destroying in, as you can see, in this destructor right here. Sorry, not here, but the this one, sorry, this one right here. As you can see, we are deleting these pointers here because these pointers are basically the areas of the rectangles which we are declaring within the concrete player. So these are basically the flags for each of the move, whether each move is being continued or not, is being called or not. These are the frame counts for each of the move. So I was explaining the right. These are attributes, integers, or the frames. Integer frames are basically the moves, the frame count for each of the player, which is initialized within the constructor of the concrete player. Then we have the x position, y position of the player itself, and the opposite player with respect to which we are fighting. We have the player width, player height, which are basically the height and width of the rectangle which will be drawn on the screen. Then we have the player life, power, and difficulty. Player life and player power and player difficulty are initialized within the constructor according to the attributes that the user has selected from the main menu. For example, he would select the difficulty according to which the player power and player life would be decided. Then we have these flags for the moves itself and the move count. These attributes basically helps to keep the track of the move itself and to call one or the other move. Then we have these other attributes to for the damage taken or the damage given, and these are all the helper functions. For example, draw player draws the frames moves of the player on the screen. Then we have the ratio set. What ratio set does is basically it picks up the assets from the png file and resizes the destination rectangle on the screen. So I will explain that to you in the cpp file, but for now we have the other helper function. For example, reset move. This one initializes the conditions of the player. They have x mover to move the player horizontally on the screen. Then we have power restore. Once the player uses special power, it is being restored using this function. Then we have player difficulty, which initializes all the attributes that I showed you above. And then we have false solve, false check, which basically checks the flags of all the moves of the players. Then we have the player action, which basically calls the draw function. Then we have date direct, which calls this function right here, reset move. Then we have set volume chunk, which basically decides the volume of the chunks of the players. Then we have these virtual functions, as you can see, idle, walk left, walk right, and the other ones, which we have explicitly defined within the concrete classes, which I will show you in the maybe in the next video, or if the time allows within this video. So moving on to the cpp file, as you can see, I was telling you earlier about the ratio set. This is the ratio set function. What it does is basically it picks up the rectangles on the png file and then resizes it according to the change in ratio on the png file onto the SGL screen. For example, if we have one of the rectangle on the png file and then there is another rectangle followed by the previous rectangle, and its coordinate changes with respect to the first rectangle on the png file, the same logic applies. We basically reflect the same logic on the SDL. So as you can see, it changes the x coordinates, y coordinates, width and height of the player according to the first rectangle on the png file. Because within the png file, the way the rectangles are changing is with respect to the first rectangle of the player. Let me show you just right. Right. So as you can see, all of these rectangles that you are seeing of a jump of the player are being resized with respect to the first rectangle. We applied the same logic here. As you can see, this is the first rectangle and we are resizing all of the remaining rectangle with respect to this first rectangle of the source of 0. So that's pretty much it for the ratio set. And then afterwards we have the x mover, which does the obvious work. Power restore, player difficulty, as I explained earlier. Their logicality is not that difficult, and pretty much is self-explainable by these attributes, so I won't go into the details of these. Then we have the reset move, which does the same thing. Also, we have decided to have 3 types of total of move. For example, we have continuous moves, which which is basically carried out only once, for example punch or kick. Then we have loop move, for example the idle move or the move left or